Okay, so I'm here to tell you why you can't prioritize by business value. And let's be absolutely clear. I'm not telling you why you shouldn't. I am telling you why you can't. When you have finished watching this talk, you will know that you cannot prioritize by business value. This is not a matter of should. This is a matter of physics. If you are able to break the laws of physics, then contact me because the world of Agile is waiting. Okay. And the reason I'm going to pick on this is because I'm very careful about language in many cases. I think many of the problems we have in communication are defined in terms of our social structures, but a number of them are also defined by the way that we use particular words, and prioritized by business value has become a kind of a standard mantra. In fact, earlier on today, I went and checked my old Scrum book, from way back, 2003. This phrase is not there. This phrase does not really start appearing until the 2000s, and it kind of started appearing out of the kind of the Scrum Master program and talks and things like that. So why is it that we want to prioritize? Because we have a number of things to do. We cannot do them all simultaneously. This is one of the things that we learn from physics. Time does not all happen at once. Time is a way of making sure that stuff doesn't happen immediately. It gives the universe life, but we need an ordering. And this is one of those great challenges. The nature of order is fundamental. So we need some kind of sense of value by which we prioritize, that this comes before that. We do this task before that. We do this piece of work before that. Now, value is such a broad term that if you go and look it up in the dictionary, you will find a shopping list of possibilities. It is something that is used in every domain and every walk of life. So we're going to narrow it down, and people have business value. Now, the problem here is one of language. This sounds really good. It sounds really positive. It sounds like we're being business focused. It sounds like we actually know what we're talking about. It sounds like we care and we have precision. The problem is the word business doesn't actually mean very much. It's almost a context-free word. It's a noise word. As we see from this wonderful Tora cartoon, yes, the planet got destroyed, but for a beautiful moment in time, we created a lot of value for shareholders. The point there is value is a matter of perspective. Business is not a perspective. Most of the world does business. The question we need to be asking is, for whom? Is it of value to the company I am working for? Is it of value to the employees? Is it of value to the shareholders? They're different. Is it of value to the stakeholders? Again, a different set. Is it of value to the shareholders? Again, a different set. Or maybe even the customer. Who knows? And then for how long? Because again, business value has a time frame. We've just learned about time. Do you mean business value next week and then after that it's a complete bust for the next quarter, or do we mean for the next decade? We haven't specified a time horizon. The lack of precision is astonishing, and yet we get away with using these terms. But the one thing we can be sure of is we are talking about business value at some point in the future, not now and not in the past. When we're prioritizing, we are dealing with something that has not yet happened. And this demands something of us that we cannot provide. How do we know the business value in the future? What mystical knowledge are we going to get? The key point here, one of these wonderful quotes from Admiral Grace Hopper. She observed, "To me, programming is more than an important practical art. It is also a gigantic undertaking in the foundations of knowledge." Effectively, software development is applied epistemology. We deal with the organization of the things that we know. And of course, we naturally start with the known knowns, the things that we know, okay, the things that we are comfortable with. And this is obvious and comfortable. And it is also the space that we normally estimate from. I can see this, I know it, yes, we can do this, and it's going to take this amount of time. Then we deal with the known unknowns, those things that I know that I do not know. Okay, so I know that I do not know German particularly well. I have Speisekarten Deutsch, and that is pretty much the limit of my world. That normally works out okay. So I have that knowledge that I don't know something, but I tend to deprioritize that. We deprioritize that a little bit, and then we hit the unknown unknowns. I didn't even know that I didn't even know. So I speak Portuguese, not particularly well. I speak Brazilian Portuguese. And I did not know until I was a child and we went to Portugal that European Portuguese was different. Who knew? I did not know that I did not know that. It was fundamentally different. It turns out that a lot of software development happens here and in the next one. Unknowable unknowns. We do not have a process for finding out the things that we do not know. In 2019, what were your plans for dealing with the pandemic in 2020 and 2021? Well, you didn't know that you didn't know that you didn't have a process for finding out that there was going to be this. It is unknowable until we arrive there. Now, I used this quote earlier on with Frank Bushman in our talk before this. And one of the things I like about this is not only that prediction is very difficult, especially about the future, but we're not actually sure who originally said it. We think it's Niels Bohr, but it could have been Yogi Berra. There's a bunch of people. So this is about the past. If we're not very good with the past, how on earth do we intend to be able to predict the future? Because future value is unknowable. You do not know the business value of something, no matter how carefully you've defined business value, because we have not yet been to the future. There is no process for doing that. This is against the laws of physics. Okay, you cannot prioritize by business value unless you happen to have a time machine. Some of us are lucky enough to have such things, okay? But there is a fundamental point of physics. You cannot know the business value because you do not have a process for finding out. Oh, sure, people say, we know it. No, they don't. They have confidence. But confidence is no substitute for knowledge. We do not yet have that knowledge. So what I urge you to recognize is that when you talk about prioritize by business value, you're not talking about that. You're talking about an estimation process. And the existence of the word estimation should immediately caution us. It's not that we can't do work. It's not that we can't make meaningful decisions. It's just that we should be cautious and use the phrase prioritize by estimated business value. It just reminds everybody that there is a piece of knowledge that we have yet to discover and that we are looking to the future to arrive there. Thank you very much.